sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense, as I'm totally screwing up the opening again, which isn't uncommon for me to do when I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. Oh, boy. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? There we go. Trying to set up for Facebook Live broadcast, and that thing's going about as good as church mouse farting, which never goes over good, if you don't know that already. So, welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. Beep, 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 as I stutter. You can also go to Facebook and check me out at, what the hell is it? At Jersey Joe Talks, that's it. Streaming live there. You can also go to YouTube and search for SHR Media. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe to the channels. We got some great shows. Bunch of great hosts we have on this station. Don't forget, tonight is the night. This is the best Wednesday on SHR Media. The best lineup. Of course, we have me, the Reaver of Common Sense, and coming up at 11 o'clock right after my show is the Sackheads Radio Show, where Tweedledee and Tweedledum will tell you what's going on. They'll give you the left coast version. I'll give you the right coast version. Oh, so I came across the article right before coming on air, and it really made me smack my head a couple of times. Washington Post, I think it was yesterday or day before, we're on the road to a new Cold War. And it's the United States and Russia have descended to a new low point in relationships with waves of sanctions and escalating retaliations. 25 years after the Cold War ended, relationships are back in a deep freeze. What happened? Washington Post actually asked what happened. They're the jackasses that have been making a lot of negative comments about Russia. They have been going on about this collusion and how they interfered in our elections, and they just went 100% right after Russia. Now we're in a beginnings of a Cold War with them again, and they're going, how'd it happen? I'm waiting for, Urkel to come out and be like, did I do that? Washington Post is one of the big reasons. Washington Post, New York Times, Democrats have gone at it with Russia, starting shit. These are the same people. What was it? 2012. Mocked Romney. Hey, 1980s called, and they want their Russian policy back. These guys flip-flop. Holy shit. The Democrats, they got a mental issue. They really do. They flip-flop on this so bad it's not funny. But it goes on. The current tensions did not come about because the United States suddenly wanted its old adversary back. What happened is a response to bad choices taken by President Vladimir Putin of Russia. These choices were made deliberately in Moscow, perhaps for Mr. Putin's own reasons of domestic politics and foreign policy. They are the main reasons for the tensions that now exist. Mr. Putin chose to seize Crimea from Ukraine, and Mr. Obama chose to sit back and do nothing. They annexed it and then instigated an arms insurrection in southern Ukraine in 2014. Obama also removed all defensive weapons, missile defensive weapons out of Europe. The shield, I think it was called, that protected Europe and kind of kept Russia at bay. Obama took it out because we're not in armed conflict with Russia anymore. We don't need that anymore. We're resetting our efforts, our relationship with Russia. If I won the election, I have more leeway with Russia. Let's see, the violating all post-World War II norms of national sovereignty. The war in the Donbass region was a tactic by Mr. Putin to interject further instability into Ukraine after Ukraine's president, Putin ally Viktor Yanukovych, fled his palace in the face of mass protests. Mr. Putin was aggravated at Ukraine's decision to sign a pact with the European Union, but Ukraine is not a vassal of Russia, and Mr. Putin claimed to a sphere of influence are untenable. The sanctions imposed by the United States and Europe were a response to Mr. Putin's ill-conceived impulse to use violence as a tool of intimidation and coercion. Like I can read today. Yes, Putin did that. United States, under direction of Obama, sat back and allowed it. The United States sat back and did nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, they went, shame, 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 Mr. Putin. Don't you do that, Mr. Putin. I'm surprised we didn't hear, I draw a line here. You cross this line, you die. You crossed the line, shit. You cross this line, you die. Shit, crossed the line again. And another that made me go apeshit, Keith Olbermann is now accusing that it's Trump that is keeping all of the Russia story alive. Not the left. They let it die. They're done with it. It's Trump that's keeping it alive. I wondered how they were going to back out of this Russia story bullshit. This whole Russian investigation. What they're doing now, they're trying to turn it and say it's Trump is the one that's keeping the story alive. Oh, I keep hearing in the media of, Democrats. He's colluding. Oh, Putin has something on him. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke, people. I still haven't got the Facebook to work with the green screen and all that properly without a major lag, so I'm going through my cell phone right now. So I'm sorry about the background that's on the Facebook Live. I know I won't be getting it done this weekend. I'm sorry. I am actually going away with my family. We're going to go down to, Venice, Florida. And we're going to walk the beaches. We're going to do some shark teeth hunting. Supposed to be the number one beach for shark teeth. Both fossilized and recently dropped teeth. So, unfortunately, I'm leaving Saturday. It's like a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive. Get a hotel. Go out to the beach. Yeah, got something in my eye. Have a little fun. Go back to the hotel. And then we'll, good. Wake up the next day and go back out on the beach for a couple of hours. And then head home. It would be the first time I've gotten away from the house in a long-ass time. I think I need it. I really do. I really think I need it. All right. So it's... Now they're trying to blame everybody but the left for Russia. Conflict. They stepped in the shit. They walked it all through the house, and now they want to blame everybody else because they're shit in the house. They started this whole Russia bullshit, and now they want to try to dump it onto Trump to blame him for it. And it's amazing how irresponsible these Democrats are. I was in a Twitter conversation with someone blaming, where it's talking about Obamacare and the Republican, and here, let me pull it up, because this is amazing. It amazes me what these people actually, either this person is very ill-informed, so politically one-sided it's not funny, or they're just a paid troll. But some of these comments, let me go through. You know, so the cost of Obamacare rising is questionable, and if it did that, then it only did it because of what the Republicans did to cut Obamacare's nuts off. Nothing has changed about Obamacare. Nothing. But Republicans somehow cut the nuts off of this bill. Let's see. Trying to look into all. There's more. You know, there's a lot of people complaining about the increased. There's a lot of people. One person, don't daydream the rest of your life away. Because the original poster put, well, the Trump care will increase prices. 20 million people will lose, and puppy dogs will die from it. Okay, he didn't say puppy dogs will die from it. Dang it. Person actually deleted their comment, I think. Holy shnikes. No, blocked me. The person blocked me. And all I said is sounds exactly like what Obamacare actually did. And I got blocked for that. The Republicans gutted Obamacare 7 years ago, which created the issues, plain and simple. And now they have the majority, and they should be able to fix it. And Dems won't vote in it because it won't change Obamacare to make it worse for us. And it was well thought out, took a long time to get through, lots of amendments and revisions before it was passed. And the Republican plan would have skyrocketed costs while cutting taxes for the rich. I love that's the answers for everything anymore with the Democrats. It will help the rich. When the Democrats are the leading rich sons of bitches in Congress. I don't know. Damn it. It's absolutely a joke. What the heck's going on now? All right, where are we? All right. We're going to take a quick break. I got to check something out. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's simple. Sorry, I'm getting some text messages. We got a group message for all the hosts and everything. And we got great news. HP is going to stay up and running. There was some question they were possibly going to change their format, but they're staying the way they are, so it's a lot of great news across the board. And it's A lot of hosts are very happy right now. So, let's see where are we at. If you want to watch the show, it's easy. You can go to Reaver.1, click on the SHR TV button, go right there. Let's see where are we at. We've been talking about, yeah, that's right. The left is trying to back out of the corner that it backed itself into. And now they're going to try to blame everything on the right. All the damage they've done, they're going to try to dump it like they've done throughout their history. They backed slave owners. Hey, let's blame it on the Republicans. We were against civil rights. Let's blame it on the Republicans. We created this total screwed up, fucked up healthcare. Let's blame the right. We started this whole Russian collusion and started another Cold War. Let's blame the right. They make mistakes. They want everybody else to pay for their fuck-ups. And to tell you the truth, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the irresponsibility of the left, the childish behavior of the left. I don't know. And we're all pretty happy. Oh, shit, that's right. I got a green mug. I got a floating coffee mug, don't I? Let's see. Now let's actually get to go with what I actually had lined up for the show. But pretty much I'm tired of the left creating these massive issues and then stepping out of it and walking away because they thought everybody was going to jump behind them on all of it. Sorry. I'm picking on Second Sean right now. He started picking on me, so. Sorry, Kel. Or Mel. Yeah. Like I said, Dan and his wife put I know I'm changing subjects, but something popped up. Dan and his wife put too much effort, time, and money into HP Pundit, and I didn't see them stepping away from it. They put too much of their sweat, blood, and tears. What does Sackett Sean think he is? The Borg? Oh. Now, trust me, it's a lot of people happy, Dan. So don't forget, everybody. At 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, whatever time on the left coast, the wrong coast. What is it? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock on the West Coast. 11 o'clock on the right coast. It'll be Sackhead's radio show coming up right after me, and it'll be Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, and BZ. Great show, a lot of laughter, but a lot of information, and they'll keep you up to date on what's going on. So, what is going on is Debbie Wasserman Schultz has been obstructing justice and Democrat IT scandal with possible counterintelligence implications. The Center for Security Policy President Frank Gaffney took a look on Wednesday at the scandal swirling around former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the shadowy computer firm she employed. I'm sorry, Sackett Sean's busting my chops. Said, screw you, hose dragger. Listen here, you little... All right, I'll remember that. That's all right. Don't listen to Sackhead Sean. You can listen to everybody else. Ignore Sackhead Sean tonight. But we got a savory computer firm IT personnel that she employed. I am very heartened to hear that Congressman Ron DeSantis of Florida, the chairman of the National Security Subcommittee of the Oversight Committee in the House of Representatives, is taking the bit in his teeth on this, said Gaffney, referring to Representative DeSantis' call for a full investigation. I think the House leadership has a derelict in the extreme not to do so before now. Partly that's been enabled by the press, but let's face it, the press would probably cover it if there were an active congressional investigation going on, which is bullshit. And the press is going to ignore it because it involves someone on the left. And it's oh boy, I see the chat has escalated very badly. I think that DeSantis is right when he says there is one of the most important congressional scandals of all time. Unfortunately, it's not just Debbie Wasserman Schultz, he noted. Gaffney Wasserman Schultz as sort of an iconic figure when it comes to bad IT hygiene, pointing to the information security meltdown at the DNC on her watch. It is kind of funny because, yes, they got hacked and hacked bad. I don't even know if you want to call it a hack because I honestly believe from the information I've read, a lot more than Russia hacked it, that it was a disgruntled worker who downloaded the database and then disseminated it to WikiLeaks. The security was subpar. That's why they don't want to turn over their hard drives also. Because if they turn over their hard drives, it will prove that it wasn't Russia, that it was an internal personnel that downloaded the information and passed it on to WikiLeaks. Then that would become public knowledge and destroy this whole Russia conspiracy theory. They would have had nothing to complain about, and they know it, so they keep their mouth shut. They don't want their hard drives looked at. And with this whole IT scam that's going on, you got to remember, this is more than just sorry. Chat's getting... I got a couple chats going on, and that one just had me chuckle. This person had smashed or attempted to smash hard drives in his basement. And this is where it really perks me up, and nobody's really talking about. There is a lot of hard drives that were supposed to have been destroyed and are missing. Ranging from IRS... Health and Human Services, Hillary Clinton's hard drives. And now all of a sudden, this military guy is renting a house, finds him, turns him in, and then like a day or two later, a week later, all of a sudden this IT guy starts shipping all of his money overseas and tries to leave the country. This whole bank fraud is just a placeholder. It's just a placeholder. There is an intelligent breach that has gone on, and the DNC, he had access to just about any information that Democrats, House members had. It's unbelievable. Unfriggin' believable. That they were this irresponsible with national security, this irresponsible with all that information. And it's looking what? DeSantis or Gaffney went on. He says, however, he argued that the bigger point here is that congressional Democrats, by some estimate 20 of them, perhaps more, have been penetrated by a Pakistani national who are normally at least IT professionals who have been paid through the nose, who apparently have stolen government equipment, who apparently had access to all kind of information both on the part of those members and a part of others in Congress. Right there. It's in black and white. This is what's going on. And they weren't paying this guy, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be an IT professional. They were paying him millions. Why do you pay someone millions? You don't. And they kept paying him even after knowing even though they knew there was a major investigation and that there was possibility of information stolen, they kept paying the guy. That tells me either she was complicit in it, or she was being blackmailed and didn't say nothing. What the heck? It is weird. I'm at a loss. It screams out at the very least for an investigation of whether there may be intelligent implications of all this, he said, noting possible links between the Democrat computer technicians and Pakistani intelligence. Imran Awan, the character who is at the center of this, says he is a very big deal in Pakistan. Well, that could well mean he's a big deal with the Pakistani intelligence services known as ISI, which has run operations against Congress in the past. We need to get to the bottom of this. Debbie Wasserman Schultz has, I believe, been obstructing justice. She certainly has been conducting herself with respects to taxpayer subsidies for these characters in a very peculiar way. And I played the sound clip last night. I think it was last night, and it sits there. She threatened the chief of the Capitol Police because he had one of those laptops in his possession for an investigation, and she threatened him. It wasn't even she threatened him. She told him there was going to be consequences for not turning that laptop back over. It's a recorded conversation. And I can't believe nobody's talking about that. It's what they get away with. Oh, my God. It's... If I was the left, I'd make her a sacrificial lamb, run from her, hide from her. But I wouldn't stand by her. No, hell no. But the problem is, she probably has so much information on these people that they have no choice but to try to help her. She needs at least, at a minimum, an ethics investigation, and more far-ranging counterintelligence investigation is long, long overdue. It's amazing. If this was a Republican, this would have been all over the news, nonstop, every 5 minutes. MSNBC would have, camping outside the guy's house or girl's house, They would be outside, Congress every 5 minutes. Well, do we have an update? Do we have an update? Think of what they're doing with this bullshit collusion that has no factual basis. It takes up, on one of the networks, 90% of their political coverage. Do you hear about this? Yeah, they don't have the balls to talk about it because they want to hide it. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to be complicit. Democrats have put this country at risk long enough. They need to be exposed for exactly what they are doing. Oh. Oh. It's absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe that she still has access to top secret information. It should have been yanked. I mean, but then again, let's look at Hillary Clinton. Her top security clearance should have been yanked a long time ago. They still continue. She still has clearance. That's fucking scary right there. She still has clearance. She has no business getting information. She is not in office. But yet, they still allow her to. It's scary that this is all going on and just nothing. There's so much silence from the left. And their thing is, if we ignore it, it's not happening. They are... They're making all these accusations. And again, it just pops in my head. Should have known better, because when the Democrats are screaming and accusing people of something, it means they're doing the exact same thing. and that's exactly what they're doing here with Trump. They are pushing their issues onto somebody else. They're trying to distract from their illegal dealings, their collusion with Russian. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just can't believe this is going on in our country in this day and age. Oh. What time is it? Oh, Lordy, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy, it's time. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop from a stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Saku as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, boy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So I love my parents. I really do. I love my parents. My mom was just watching on the Facebook feed, and she went to post something, and she puts, Joe, this is your mother and father. I'm like, so I called him up during the break. I'm like, Mom, I know who the hell you are. I know that your name pops up, that it's you when you write a comment. Oh, I'm like, oh my God. It's like straight out of a movie. Broadcast today is a little choppy. Just doesn't look right. All right, let's see where are we at. Where are we at? Oh, Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen, the dumbass. Oh, the last of the two Sheens. I know there's a third one, but he's an Estevez. I know they're all the same. But Martin Sheen, actor Martin Sheen, described America as the land of lunatics and said he was relieved to be able to film in Canada during a press appearance for the upcoming season of PBS's Anne of Green Gables. Where the hell did I get gold? Holy shit. Don't you just love it when your mind substitutes words? Speaking to reporters at a television critics association of Beverly Hills, Sheen was asked to share his thoughts on Trump administration. We were doing so well without any mention of that dark force, Sheen said, referring to President Trump according to the deadline. So let's leave it right there where it belongs. I don't want to give him any more airtime than we have to. Sounds like what I say about your son. Well, and you. I kind of let the other shit slide, but it's really getting tiresome. And when he makes comments like he's going to make, yeah, I guess anybody that listens to him and wants to pay to see his crap or even watch it on TV because then you're looking at sponsors and that's how. No, I'm not going to watch any more of his shit because that's what it is, shit. When you sit there and you got to bash the country and call it land of lunatics because you don't like his politics, fuck you. Tired of that. But only moments after avoiding comments about Trump, the former West Wing star hinted that he enjoys filming outside the United States, away from what he called the land of lunatics. When asked about filming Anne of Green Gables in Ontario, Canada, Sheen said, "I'm always delighted, so relieved to leave the land of lunatics." Actor Martin Sheen, Sarah Botsford of Anne Green Gables, the Gold Stars speak on stage during a PBS portion. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. For me, going into Canada, they know when I'm there how giddy I am and love the country and the culture. Canada is still very much like the culture I grew up with in Dayton, Ohio in the 50s. Yeah. So basically what you just said is Canada is stuck in a backwater time, in a backwater town type of way. Oh, that's such a nice thing to say, isn't it? That's so nice to say. I just love compliments like that. I don't know about you. Oh, man. I really want to start banging my head. I really do. The 76-year-old star who famously played President Bartlett on NBC's acclaimed White House series The West Wing has been a vocal opponent of the current real-life president. You see, him pretending to be a president, he thinks he knows more than the current president. He thinks he knows how to be president because he pretended to be a president. I pretended. My life consists of pretending, and I want everybody to listen and do as I say. Yeah. I don't give a shit what you say, Martin Sheen. But there was no need to sit there with the land of lunatics just because your little demon monster Hillary Clinton lost. Your own side voted against her. Last August, Sheen called then-candidate Trump an empty-headed moron who had no chance at winning the presidential election. Oh, look, Podesta's in the news again, running his mouth. How Hillary won the popular vote. Oh, and now he's saying Hillary is under Trump's skin. I think Trump's under Hillary's skin, and she's scared shitless, and so should Podesta. Oh. Podesta haunted by Hillary's election loss. Yeah, he led Hillary, who was a sure win, into a loss. He managed a surefire win and lost it. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. I don't believe what that man has to say. Just as Sheen, I don't believe what the hell he has to say. Sheen ramped up his political activism and appeared in anti-Trump campaign ads after the election aimed at encouraging members of the Electoral College to switch their votes to former Democrat candidate Hillary Clinton. The actor and activist described his disgust with Trump's administration in a June Democrat fundraising email titled simply, "Disgusted." Email fundraised by Martin Sheen on behalf of Democrats and against Trump. I just got in my mail. He is absolutely right. Oh. It's just... You couldn't pay me to watch his crap anymore. And it's funny because if you start looking at a lot of these stars that are running their mouth, Schumer, him, Seth Rogen, the list is going on and on. Their ratings are going in the toilet. Why? Because people are tired of it. They're tired of it. They don't want to hear this crap. And one program that was conservative, they canceled because, well, it was doing good in the ratings because, well, it was conservative. Yeah, that is funny. I'm sorry, I'm looking back at TV and they're talking there. The one person said, it's funny how Hillary keeps trying to interject herself on the Democrat Party, and so many in the Democrat Party have said that they want to move on from the Clintons. They're done with it. The party of Clinton is dead, just as the party of Bush is dead. It's amazing. Trump killed 2 legacies with 1 stone. If Juan Williams ever agreed, I think I would have a heart attack. I think his job is to disagree with everything they say. Just disagree. Doesn't matter. Just disagree. Okay. Oh, did anybody watch the press conference today? Oh, my God. It was a joke and a half. Jim Acosta just pulled his bullshit again. And they wonder why they don't want it on TV, because Jim Acosta tries to get the gotcha moment. He tries to run his mouth like he's so important. I'm going to go and bitch about everything. Well, he got kind of smacked around today. And then it's... Jim Acosta stuck his foot in his mouth and made a racist comment. And it shows the cosmopolitan bias. What I'm trying to do, while I stammer and stutter, is pull up the sound clip for it. Because it is kind of funny listening to those two go back and forth. And he smacks him down real good when he turns around and he asks him, does anyone at CNN understand the difference between a green card and illegal immigration? Because Acosta doesn't seem to understand. So let me pull it up. Come on. You could do it. Sometimes take a minute. All right, it's a 7 minutes, almost 7 minutes long.
I will give, yes.
What you're proposing, or what the president's proposing here, does not sound like it's in keeping with American tradition when it comes to immigration. The Statue of Liberty says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. It doesn't say anything about speaking English or being able to be a computer programmer. Aren't you trying to change what it means to be an immigrant coming into this country? If you're telling them you have to speak English, can't people learn how to speak English when they get here?
Well, first of all, right now, it's a requirement that to be naturalized, you have to speak English. So the notion that speaking English wouldn't be a part of our immigration systems would be actually very ahistorical. Secondly, I don't want to get off into a whole thing about history here, but the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of liberty enlightening the world. It's a symbol of American liberty lighting the world. The poem that you're referring to that was added later is not actually part of the original Statue of Liberty, but more fundamentally, the history. But more fundamentally,
you're saying
the history
does not represent.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that the notion. I'm saying the notion that I'm saying the notion.
You notice how he never lets anybody answer. He's always got to cut him off because the answer will embarrass him.
The Statue of Liberty has always been
let me ask you a question.
Of hope to the world, for people to send
do you believe
people to this country, and they're not always going to speak English, Stephen. They're not always going to be highly skilled. They're not always going to be.
Jim, I appreciate your speech. Jim, I appreciate your speech.
I appreciate your speech.
Let's talk about this.
It was a modest.
Jim, let's talk about this. In 1970, when we let in 300,000 people a year, was that violating or not violating the Statue of Liberty law of the land? In the 1990s, when it was 500,000 a year, was it violating or not violating the Statue of Liberty law of the land?
Was it violating?
When it was 700,000 years. No, tell me what years. Tell me what years. Tell me what years meet. Tell me what years meet Jim Acosta's definition of the Statue of Liberty poem "Law of the Land." So you're saying 1 million a year is the Statue of Liberty number. 900,000 violates it. 800,000 violates it.
You're sort of bringing a press one for English philosophy here to immigration, and that's never been what the United States has been about, Stephen.
But you're also your statement's also shockingly ahistorical in another respect too, which is if you look at the history of immigration, it's actually ebbed and flowed. We've had periods of very large waves, followed by periods of less immigration and more immigration, and during we've had
a period of immigration right now. The president wants to build a wall. You want to bring about a sweeping change to
surely, Jim, you don't actually think that a wall affects green card policy. You couldn't possibly believe that, do you? Actually, the notion that you actually think immigration is a historic law. The foreign-born population in the United States today, Jim,
staff on Monday talking about how border crossings.
Do you really? I want to be serious, Jim. Do you really at CNN not know the difference between green card policy and illegal immigration?
Sir,
you really don't know that?
Cuban immigrant. He came to this country in 1962, right before the Cuban.
Then you ought to know the difference between an illegal immigrant and an immigrant.
People who immigrate to this country can eventually. People who immigrate to this country not through
Jim, as a factual question,
ways do obtain a green card at some point. They do it through a lot of hard work, and yes, they may learn English as a second language later on in life. But this whole notion of they could learn, they have to learn English before they get to the United States. Are we just going to bring in people from Great Britain and Australia?
Jim, I have to honestly say, I am shocked at your statement that you think that only people from Great Britain and Australia would know English. It reveals your cosmopolitan bias to a shocking degree that in your mind, this is an amazing moment. This is an amazing moment that you think only people from Great Britain or Australia would speak English is so insulting to millions of hardworking immigrants who do speak English from all over the world. Jim, have you honestly never met an immigrant from another country who speaks English outside of Great Britain and Australia? Is that your personal experience?
Of course, there are people who come.
But that's not what you said, and it shows your cosmopolitan bias. And I just want to say,
it sounds like you're trying to engineer the racial and ethnic flow of people into this country.
Jim, that is one of the most outrageous, insulting, ignorant, and foolish things you've ever said. And for you, that's still a really the notion that you think that this is a racist bill is so wrong and so insulting. Jim, the reality is that the foreign-born population into our country has quadrupled since 1970. That's a fact. It's been mostly driven by green card policy. Now, this bill allows for immediate nuclear family members to come into the country, much as they would today, and then it adds an additional points-based system. The people who've been hurt the most, the people who've been hurt the most by the policy you're advocating are
what policy am I advocating?
Apparently just unfettered, uncontrolled migration. The people who've been hurt the most by the policy.
What you're doing is for
the people who've been hurt the most by the policy that you're. The people who've been
hurt
the most by the policy
he will not shut his mouth long enough to hear an answer.
And minority workers, and African American workers, and Hispanic workers.
Are you targeting the African American community now? You brought it up again. You said you wanted to have a conversation and not target. Is it going to be a target?
This is what we want to do.
Oh, he's going to be a target? No, he's.
Are you going to target? I'm not trying to be.
Yeah, she is. She's trying to get her little soundbite in. He's pointing out by limiting the amount of immigrants coming in, it will help multiple groups in this country that have been hurt by immigration. Immigration, for the most part, has been bringing in low-wage workers. And it's been hurting certain groups in this country. So he's pointing out that fact, and they got to... Oh, it just pisses me off. Acosta, no matter what, unless it's Obama or Hillary Clinton up there, he will not be satisfied with any answer, any bill, any ideology. The man is not up there for news. He's up there to get sound bites. Look at me. I went after Trump. Look at me. Oh, I'm so good. Oh, yes, I'm so good. I attacked Trump. I did good, didn't I, Obama? All right, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Busy! What's up? I think it's something in the water today that has everybody all goofified. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, that's easy. Go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. Or you can go to YouTube and search shrmedia.com. Well, just SHR Media, sorry. force of habit. Just search SHR Media on YouTube, and you will come across the show, and you go ahead and hit the little button that says subscribe, and you'll keep date of all the great shows that we have here. Oh, boy. Don't forget, top of the hour is the Sackheads radio show. All right, Mel, are you talking about the on the video? If you're talking about the video, the background is a green screen. So, let's see. Where am I at? Here. I think I've had this one for long enough. Oh. We'll take a vote for myself. There's one in here I really like, but everything, all the pictures are center frame, and that's, well, I'm center frame. I'm the most important. Here, we'll go with this one for a little bit. There we go. And make sure everything's looking good. Of course, I'm in it, so it's going to look good. And clear. Still lost where I'm at in the news. Yeah, this room is pretty plain. It's my computer room, and I got some hockey jerseys hanging up, and, the fire helmets, both my fire helmet, well, one fire helmet, the other one was my deputy chief's helmet, some of the awards, and one of my badges. But otherwise, this room's pretty plain. The only time I'm in here, well, is when I do the show or if I'm playing a video game. And not so much anymore since I got a laptop hooked to my TV, so I will play my video games on like a 60-inch, 60 or 70, whatever it is. Whatever, 50, 60. I'm a male. I can't tell the difference on size. I always think this is 8 inches. And if you didn't see the video, you'd miss that joke. So I play, my video games on this big screen TV. So pretty much all I do in here is the show anymore. God, I got some bags underneath my eyes. I actually got some sleep in. Damn. All right, Ben Rhodes is now emerging as a person of interest in the House Intel Committee on Masking Probe. Former Obama White House National Security Advisor. Yes, the overestimating is real. That's why, on a side note, I've always told women it's small. Because you tell them it's small, you never disappoint. All right, National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes is emerging as a person of interest in the House Intelligence Committee on Masking Investigation, according to a letter obtained by Circa. Don't you love how I throw in those little smart-ass comments and just keep on going with the politics like I never said anything that wrong to begin with? The letter sent from the House Intelligence Committee to the National Security Agency on Tuesday requested a number of unmasking made by Rhodes between January 1st, 2016 to January 20th, 2017. The committee is requesting that the NSA deliver God bless me. The committee is requesting that the NSA deliver the information on Rhodes by August 21st. Unmasking refers to the practice of having the identity of an American caught up in surveillance of a foreign target revealed. Their names are hidden or masked because U.S. intelligence agencies are prohibited from spying on Americans. But that didn't matter to Obama. I mean, Jesus. He's already gotten caught that he was doing a lot of spying and ignoring U.S. laws. Damn, keep sneezing. Oh. It's like allergy season without the allergies. An intelligent consumer, however, can request that an American's name be unmasked or revealed through a formal process. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes recently said in a letter to Director for National Intelligence Dan Coates that Obama aides made hundreds of requests in their final year in office. Some of them unmaskings were followed by leaks in the press, he said. While unmasking is not illegal, leaking classified intelligence is illegal. Well, I would say unmasking for intelligent purposes is not illegal. Unmasking for political gains is illegal. And what I mean by that, they were unmasking for trying to get campaign advances. They knew there was spying on the Trump campaign. So you ask for unmasking underneath false pretenses to get the information so you have an advantage. They could pass it on to Hillary's campaign to try to give her an advantage. Nunes has been conducting an investigation to see whether Americans, including Trump campaign associates, were improperly unmasked before and after the election. Nunes said in a letter to Coates that the committee has found evidence that current and former government officials had easy access to U.S. persons' information and that it is possible that they used this information to achieve partisan political purposes, including the selective, anonymous leaking of such information. I got to read that one. If this would have been a Republican president that did this to a Democrat, holy shit, would they be jumping mad. They'd be flipping out. I mean, could you just imagine just reverse the political parties? How bad they'd be fucking... It'd be on the news nonstop. They'd be talking how it's the downfall of America that a political party spied on another campaign, on the opposing political campaign, how they tried to get an unfair advantage, and it would not stop until the let's say it was the Republicans that did it, until the Republican Party had to fold. But here, what do we hear now? Nothing. It's barely in the media. Why? Because they're helping cover up this illegal activity. And if there is proof that there was illegal activity and we could prove, then the media should be charged as accomplices for their failure to talk about it. Sorry, I know there's free press and all that, but you know what? They are being complicit in covering up illegal activities. We all know that they have been in contact with Hillary Clinton's campaign. They were in contact nonstop, colluded with them. And it's like, holy shit, you actually have the balls to accuse Trump of colluding with anybody when the DNC colluded, Hillary Clinton colluded, and now we have the Obama administration, spying on Trump's campaign. I don't care if it was Trump or any other Republican. This pisses me off. And even let's reverse it. If it was a Democrat that had won and it was a Republican in office, I'd be just as pissed off that any political party decided to spy for political gains like that. I've heard of it being done. There's never been really mass proof, but now proof is coming out. We need to set it up so this never fucking happens again. Maybe we need to set it up that the president, whoever he is, cannot campaign for any political office, cannot be a part of any campaigns. To try to separate the power of the presidency from anything, any people running from office. The Democrat Party tried to use the president for political gains. And that's disgusting. And especially if it comes out, I just bit my goddamn tongue. If it comes out that Susan Rice and this jackass Ben Rhodes, who should be also investigated over the goddamn Iran deal, that Iran deal is another goddamn joke, do everything behind everybody's back, lie to the American people about the deal, come out, flat out lie. And what pissed me off is Iran was sitting there outing Obama about the lies. Oh, yeah, he's joking. Don't worry about it. Oh, by the way, here's your couple $100 million. There you go. We're going to kiss your ass. What kind of dumbass does that? They're getting shit on, and they still help the person. That's how much that administration hated this country. That's how much the Democrats hate this country. They got outed, and they still helped the person just so that they could walk all over. I don't know. Pissing me off so damn bad. Wow, that does look like Gene Simmons. There's a calf that resembles Kiss rocker Gene Simmons, like with the makeup and everything. It's kind of funny. Gene Simmons has been with a lot. I just don't get it. Don't get it at all. They would risk their careers. Maybe I'm more straight-laced than I ever thought I was. But Noon said in a letter to Coates that the committee has found evidence that current and former government officials had easy access to U.S. personal information. That should not be. We need to set it up so this never happens again. U.S. officials who, on condition of being anonymous, that the intel reports include some intercepts of Americans talking to foreigners and many more involved foreign leaders talking about the future president, his campaign associates, or his transition team. They noted that most of the interceptions had little to do with Russia election interference scandals, and some appeared to have nothing to do with national security at all. But they used it as a lie to get what they wanted. And too many in positions were too quick to help out. I'm flabbergasted. I never thought in a million years that I would see this happening in my lifetime. And in movies, yes, I could see this happening in a movie. But what's going now, I never thought in a million years I thought I would see with our government. I thought we had too many fail-safes put in place, and too many people respected the positions. They'd done some stupid shit, but they at least respected the positions that they wouldn't do it. But I guess I underestimate Democrats, and when you think that, goes the old adage, here, hold my beer. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit. We will be, that's right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. That's right. Don't forget, coming up at the top of the hour is the Sackheads Radio Show. They're coming from the left coast, the wrong coast. Whichever coast you want to say. All right, the Democrats have officially drove me to drink tonight. I had to go get one tonight. I don't drink anything exotic. Ugh. All right. been talking about how the Ben Rhodes is now a person of interest. I like how they put that. Person of interest. In other words, they think he's guilty. I just read your comment, Melanie. That's messed up. It's unbelievable. Now this, and I'm hoping that some of it's true. The parts that they're waiting for, I think it said November. We'll get to that. But the mayors and police in states like New York and California, which have relatively restrictive gun laws, are organizing against making concealed handgun carry permits in one state valid in all states. Earlier this year, Senator John Cornyn and Representative Richard Hudson introduced the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocation Act of 2017, which would allow individuals with concealed carry privileges in their state of residence to exercise their right in any other state while abiding by that state's law. The controversial bill, it just still amazes me that my right to protect myself is a controversial bill. My constitutional rights is a controversial bill. Could you imagine if we were talking about a bill about free speech that gave me free speech across state lines? Could you imagine if we were talking about I needed a license for free speech and that not all states would issue a license for free speech? But because you only had free speech allowed in your house. How many people would sit back and allow that? And it's funny because the Democrats, that's different. Words don't hurt. But just not too long ago, I did an article about how they do say words are hurtful and they can kill. It's amazing how when it helps them, words hurt when it doesn't. But still, it's my constitutional right of free speech. That's given to me in every single state. But my right to protect myself isn't. And I had to go get a permit. I had to get permission from the state to protect myself. And I'm different than, I'll admit, the sackheads, if I heard them right. I don't think if you're convicted of a felony, I don't think you have the right to carry a gun. So I can see where they have to make sure that you have a right to own a gun. But I'm sorry. I dealt with a felon who attacked my dad. He showed his irresponsibility. And a lot of them, when they commit their felonies, they show their irresponsibility, that they're not responsible enough to take care of a gun. I don't care if they went to prison and paid their dues. They lost their ability to, or they showed their irresponsibility, I should say. But why am I talking about this controversial bill would thus function as does a driver's license? A driver's license, which is a privilege, is granted in all 50 states, but my right to concealed carry isn't. Where out-of-state operators can get behind the wheel in any state, though they must adhere to designated speed limits and signs of that jurisdiction. In other words, you must obey the laws of that state, including obeying gun-free zones. There are more than 16 million concealed carry permittees in the United States, a figure that soared 256%, according to the Crime Prevention Research Center under the Obama administration. Some 6.5 0.53% of the Americans have permits. And outside of the more rigorously controlled California and New York, roughly 8% of the population has a permit. The caveat is that all states have some sort of concealed carry eligibility. 12 states no longer require a permit for concealed carry, and the remaining 38 required a resident to prove to varying degrees a legitimate need to carry a concealed handgun. President Trump supports this bill. In fact, he campaigned on it. And I laugh because not so long ago I heard somebody, well, when is he going to do this? He said he was going to do it. And it's like, this was put in before he was even sworn in. It has to go through committees. It has to go through each little step, and it takes a while. Since introducing this common sense bill, I have received an incredible amount of support from folks across the country, Hudson told Fox News, adding that it currently has 207 co-sponsors from both sides of the aisle. I expect the Judiciary Committee to take it up when the House comes back into session in September. We are primed to make national concealed carry reciprocation for all law-abiding citizens a reality. And it's 207. Both sides of the aisle agree that a concealed carry permit should be recognized. But not so fast, say officials on both coasts. The California Police Chiefs Association, which represents municipality police chiefs and their agencies in states with a membership that oversees public safety for more than 26 million Californians, adamantly opposes the bill. The bill would erode local control of issuing concealed carry permits, as the arbitrariness of issuing authority rules would reduce the requirements for concealed carry to the lowest common denominator. Edward Medrano, the associate president, asserted in a July 13, 2017 letter. Further, the lack of a national database for concealed carry permits makes it functionally impossible for a law enforcement officer in the field to determine the legal compliance of an individual carrying a concealed firearm. It means their officers would have to be responsible, would have to be a little bit educated, and I think it's these political positions using their police as pawns for their political ideology. This would not make it any more dangerous. It's been proven time and time again, concealed carry does not increase crime. It deters crime. But similar sentiments come from the U.S. Conference of Mayors, the official nonpartisan organization of cities with populations of 30,000 or more, represented by its chief elected official, the mayor. Of its annual meeting in late June, New York City Bill de Blasio, surprise, and Chicago Mayor Raheem Emanuel led the passing of a sweeping resolution that calls on Congress to repeal the dangerous legislation that would essentially force the localities to give full faith and credit to permits that are issued on less rigorous ground and remove local government's ability to maintain sensible gun standards. In other words, they want to be able to have their gun control. They don't want to be interfered with. They don't want to, have their residents bitching and moaning because, well, these people are coming in carrying, and see, no crime is being committed, so now you could start issuing them. It will add so many questions to the gun control conversation that they won't have the answer for, so it's easier to stop their constituents from knowing how great it is to be able to defend yourself. It's just... They want to keep you pawns. They want to keep control. They want you reliable on them. Sorry, I'm not waiting 8 minutes, 9 minutes, which is, yeah. I wish I can get a cop that quick. I've waited up to an hour and a half. Yeah, that would look real good. Hour and a half waiting on a cop. If I'd actually needed an officer there. I don't know. It's amazing. And it has me dumbfounded. It really does. Despite such concerns... Oh, and here's the best. Here's the best. I forgot about this one. Other officials against the bill, including New York District Attorney Vance, have even gone as far as to caution that those backing national reciprocity are enabling ISIS militants. So somehow, here in Florida, I'm allowed to concealed carry. Somehow, I am enabling ISIS militants by me carrying and not allowing them to commit a crime near me. Which exactly what this policy does. It will stop. It won't make us a target. It will make them think twice before they start acting out. The National Rifle Association has maintained that the weak arguments in the legislation from gun control groups fails to acknowledge that criminals who carry unlawfully with evil intent have no standard to follow any law. Therefore, this is for the many law-abiding, self-regulating Americans who have proven themselves to behave responsibly. Which kind of joke, me behave? That's something I've never been accused of. A retired Secret Service officer countered the law enforcement leader and lawmakers need to recognize this is an American right and one that is eminently sensible. I will always remember the 2 times I was in a serious danger of being mugged. I was on my way to work as a Secret Service officer at the White House while I was in civilian clothes. As soon as I drew my firearm in defense of my life against the armed robbers, they turned tail. Some also argue that national concealed handgun carry policy is reasonable given the threat of terrorism. National reciprocity arguably makes the entire United States a harder target and therefore a more credible deterrent. Dennis Santiago, a California-based risk analyst and firearm instructor. If you are armed, and they know people in this area are going to be armed, they're not going to want to go into that area and commit any crimes. They want easy targets, whether we're talking about ISIS or we're talking about street-level criminals or we're talking about gangbangers or we're talking about mafia. It doesn't matter. The criminal element want an easy target. That's why they're criminals. They want the easy way out. So they pick easy targets. Unarmed. Indefensible. They can get in with the least amount of risk to their life. It's that simple, people. Taking guns away from, or making any gun law, the only one it affects is law-abiding citizens. Because criminals, by definition, don't pay attention to our laws. They break laws. That's why they're called criminals. But yet, we still have to keep having this conversation. That's the scary part. That is really scary. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, coming up top of the hour, the end of the Reaver of Common Sense show will be the start of the Sackheads radio show, starring Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, and BZ. Stay tuned. You'll get a left coast feel of what it's like to be a conservative behind the enemy lines. Damn, I'm almost out of beer. Howard Dean refuses to support the Democrat National Committee chairman. Wait a minute. The former Democrat National Committee chairman, Howard Dean, announced that he would not support the Democrat Congressional Campaign Committee if it funds pro-life candidates. I'm afraid I'll be withholding support for the DCCCCCCC if this is true. Dean wrote on Twitter referring referencing a report from The Hill about a DCC chair, Rep. Ben Ray Lujan, promised not to litmus test pro-life candidates who are against abortion. It's kind of funny now. You're having they're so hardcore. There is no tolerance anymore. There is no more tolerance in the Democrat Party. There is no choice. You used to have a choice, and that's what they were pro-abortion. There was a choice. You could be for abortion. You can be against abortion, but you have a right to choose. Now it's you got to be for it. Got to be for killing babies. Jeez, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Dean tried to walk back his statement in an interview where he said there were a degree of pro-life and did not want to bankroll candidates who oppose all abortion rights. The former DNC chair took a much different tone in May when he said that the Democrat Party should include pro-life candidates. Flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. I don't believe we should exclude people from the Democrat Party just because they call themselves pro-life, Dean told The Atlantic. He added that he met with a group, Democrats for Life, during his tenure as DNC chair when the party took back the majority in the House with the help of a few pro-life candidates. Current DNC chair Tom Perez supported giving Democrat candidate a litmus test of their support for abortion in April, calling a woman's right to choose a non-negotiable issue. Well, it's funny. They say the woman has a right to choose. Yeah, the right to choose. I'm going to step off this because there's so many ways to go at it, but let me tell you, there's choices that she could have taken before getting pregnant. I'm not saying we should outlaw abortion, but it's not a black and white conversation. It's just not black and white. And they always turn it into just being yes or no. I've talked about it extensively. I'm against abortion as a means of birth control. Abortion has medical reasons, but it should not be used as a repeated birth control. That's also not just taking the choice away. That is for the health of the woman, because they're not always notified that multiple abortions causes sterilization. And they don't learn that till later on in life when they try to have kids at a later portion of their life and then find out, well, because they weren't informed of this, they can no longer have kids. It's not a black and white issue. And too many people think it's just a black yes or no. Well, not black yes or no. It's a black or white. It's not a yes or no discussion. Real quick, I wanted to go over more of this. Al Gore's inconvenience reality. The former vice president's home energy use surges up to 34 times the national average despite costly green renovations. In 2007, the day after his picky global warming film, An Inconvenient Truth won an Academy Award for Best Documentary. A shocking report based on public records revealed that Al Gore's Nashville home consumed 20 times more electricity than the average American household. Facing scrutiny for his extreme electricity consumption, the former vice president pledged to renovate his home to become greener and more energy efficient. The extensive and expensive overhaul of Gore's house included installing solar panels and geothermal heating. In order to determine the effectiveness of the environmental-friendly remodel, learned whether the self-appointed spokesman of the environmental movement has amended his energy-devouring ways. The National Center for Public Policy Research obtained Gore's electrical usage information through public records requests and conversations with Nashville Electric Service. In powering his home, Gore still greatly outpaces most Americans in energy consumption. The findings were shocking. The past year, Gore's home energy was average 19,241 kilowatt hours every month, compared to the U.S. household average of 901 kilowatts per month. Gore's guzzle more electricity in 1 year than the average American family uses in 21 years. In September of 2016, Gore's home consumed 30,993 kilowatts per hour in just 1 month, as much energy as a typical American family burns in 34 months. During the last 12 months, Gore devoured 66,159 kilowatt per hour of electricity just heating his pool. That's enough energy to power 6 average U.S. households for a year. From August 2016 through July 2017, Gore spent almost $22,000 on electricity bills. Gore paid an estimated $60,000 to install 33 solar panels. Those solar panels produced an average of 1,092 kilowatts per month. Only 5.7 of Gore's typical monthly energy consumption. No matter how the numbers are viewed, Al Gore uses vastly more electricity at his home than the average American, a particularly inconvenient truth given his hypocritical calls for all Americans to reduce their energy use. All information included in this report was acquired through open records requests and phone calls to NES, the public electric utility for Gore's property and much of the Nashville area. The records supplied by NES provided through information about Gore's home energy consumption, including the kilowatt consumed, the amount of energy produced by solar panels on the property, money donated to the Green Power Switch program, and the billing charges associated with the property's electric usage. The home. Al Gore resides on 10,070 square foot colonial-style home in a posh Belmead section of Nashville, the 8th wealthiest neighborhood in America according to the U.S. Census Bureau. The home, which was built in 1915, contains 20 rooms, including 5 bedrooms, 8 full bathrooms, 2 half-baths. Gore purchased the property, including the home and surrounding 2.09-acre lot, in 2002 for $2.3 million. In 2010, Gore announced that he and wife Tipper were divorcing after 40 years of marriage. According to media speculation, Tipper likely lives in the $8.9 million California home the couple purchased weeks before the separation. The Gores have 4 grown children who no longer live at home. That leaves a former vice president as presumably the only occupant of a home, making his energy consumption even more staggering. Gore also owns at least 2 other homes, San Francisco St. Regis Residential Club and a farmhouse in Carthage, Tennessee. The man that screams about global warming and energy consumption, god damn does he use up a lot. The average annual electricity consumption for a residential utility customer in America is 10,812 kilowatts, or 901 kilowatts per month, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. In the past 12 months, Gore's home burned through a total of 163,830 kilowatt hours. Heating the home's pool consumed another 66,000, and the entry gate used additional 900 kilowatt hour. This comes to a total of 230,889 kilowatt hour consumed at Gore's estate in a year. In a year. That's 19,241 kilowatt hour average monthly electricity usage is 21.3 times more energy than a typical American household consumes in a month. Oh my God. I'm dumbfounded. I'm looking at his usage and it's holy shit. 2 highest months are September and October, or July. But still, September and October the highest. Then July. Then August. Gore's electricity consumption is unfriendly to both the environment and his wallet. The former vice president's electric bill averaged $1,800 a month over the past year, not including $432 he paid each month for donations to the Green Power Switch program. Last September alone, Gore spent more than $3,000 on electricity. From August 2016 through July 2017, Gore paid nearly $22,000 for energy he consumed in his Belmead home. $22,000. That's more than a lot of Americans make in a year. In 2007, when Gore was exposed by the Tennessee Center for Policy Research for his hypocritical home energy use, the House guzzled over 220,000 kilowatt hour of electricity a year. That outrageous amount has increased by more than 10,000 kilowatt per year, even though Gore completed a green overhaul on his house, including adding solar panels to offset electricity consumption by the property. And that's the funny thing. His usage went up while adding solar power. It went up, not down. And the size argument. According to property assessment data, Gore's home is 10,070 square feet. Many Gore defenders point to the large size of his residence as an explanation for his massive energy consumption. The facts, however, do not bear this argument out. According to Energy Vanguard, a company devoted to making homes more energy efficient, an effective home uses between 5 to 10 kilowatt hour of electricity per square foot each year. A house that consumes 15 kilowatt per square foot or more of electricity per year is characterized as bad due to its inefficiency and excessive electricity consumption. Homes that expend more than 20 kilowatt hour of electricity per square foot each year are labeled energy hogs, which is Energy Vanguard's worst rating. Gore's home consumed 22.9 kilowatt per hour per square foot for the past 12 months, more than quadrupling the energy consumption of homes that are considered energy efficient, regardless of the size. Based on its kilowatt per hour square footage measurement, the house would easily earn an energy hog rating. Even by apple-to-apples comparison, Gore's home is extraordinary energy inefficient, and consumes an astonishing amount of electricity. But yet he goes around making millions of dollars chastising us. I guess he should start back at home and do a revamp, because his green revamp was a big failure. I'm not against green energy, but it's nowhere near ready. It's not. It's not. All right, that's going to be the show. I'm going to have to cut this article a little short. Coming up next is the Sackheads Radio Show with Sackhead Clint, Sackhead Sean, and Sackhead BZ. And you've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.